Dimensions fairly straightforward, so hopefully we won't spend too much time on it. I'll go into sketch mode a moment and we'll go on to a sketch, and I'm just going to sketch something up. So initially I'm just going to sketch a triangle, as it were, for something to go with. Now I've sketched that on purpose, and as you know, in the past we've done it, is that when we don't actually click on the dimensions, we just get an undimensioned triangle. So let me just do that again, putting the dimensions in. So we go over to there and we can type in, say, 70, and we can do a tab and change the angle, and then press enter, and that one's in. And then we can do the next line from there in the same way, enter a dimension, tab, enter an angle, and then finally we can join it up there. So there we've got dimensions on it. Now I want to get those out the way so it doesn't confuse, because what we're looking at is adding dimensions. Excuse me. So if we've got a shape that we need to add a dimension to, in sketch mode, we put the dimension in there and we click on the line and drag the dimension out. Now it allows us to space the line wherever we want. You notice in the case of an angled line, if we want to put it out there, we go there. If we bring it that way, it then angles it from the base to the point of the triangle. So you've got to maneuver your mouse a bit to get which dimension you want. When you and then you can also move the dimension figure up and down the line. And it's useful to bring it out if you've got other dimensions that you want to put in here for something, obviously. You can dimension the angle into dimensions, and that's dimension as it is here. But when we hit the bottom line, we will get, well, we should get an angle coming up. Doesn't want to do it, does it? Right, there we are, angle there. And we can change that angle. So that's how you can add dimensions of any type. Now, it's whether you show the dimensions or not. Let me just put another one in. I want to put that one in, and we'll make that one 73. So that's our dimension drawing. Now we can hide the dimensions by going over to this box over this side, and we've got dimensions there, and Malcolm covered these in an earlier video, but we can click that off so we can get rid of dimensions. When you get a complicated sketch, if you've got dimensions everywhere, you can't see where you're drawing, so it's handy to turn them off. Unfortunately, as far as I can make out, it's all on or all off. Now with the dimensions on there, you've got a sketch that's dimensioned in that way. We can finish that, and then we can go and we can extrude that out. And I'm just going to do a simple extrude on this one. And I'm not even interested in where it's going at the moment. Let's call it 46 for the sake of a figure there. Now, it doesn't matter what shape you've got or how complicated it is, you can actually change it at this stage. If you go into dimensions and right click and come down here to show dimensions, it now shows the dimensions on the solid. And you can now go in, and we'll just go in a home one. I can now go in there and I can move that dimension to make it look tidy, and more importantly, I can click on it and change it without going back into the sketch, and that will save the sketch as well. So it's quite helpful to be able to change dimensions when you're in solid mode without having to go back into sketch mode all the time. And with the angle, the same thing. Double click on it and we'll change that to, let's say, 40, and it changes it. So that's basically all I want to say on dimensions. Now, if you really want to get carried away, you can dimension the extrusion. But your challenge for the week, if you want to do this, is to go and find out how to do it and then come back next week and tell me. because I've had a look on YouTube and I found a video on there, and it is complicated because they're talking about projecting the sketch out and everything else. If you want to alter the extrusion, the easiest way obviously is to go back on the timeline, right click on it, edit feature, and then you can alter it by typing in the new size, as you would edit any other feature. And you can turn them off at any time you want just by going right click on the sketch and hide dimensions. It's handy to have dimensions on the block because there might be little changes you want to make rather than go back into sketch, because if you've got several sketches on your shape and you're only making a small change, and again apart from that, if you've got more than one profile that's within the solid, by changing that dimension in solid mode you can see the effect straight away it has on other things, rather than have to go into sketch, come back out into body, go back into sketch.